Fellow Ambazonians, it is now been a little over a month since you elected me leader of our struggle for independence actualization. I thought it rather appropriate to address you at this time on the occasion of my first month in office. As you all can recollect, one of the main themes of my campaign bordered around fomenting unity and collaboration among the factions or movements genuinely fighting the same cause as this interim government. I have and continue to personally facilitate this mission. I am here referring to the mission of unity and collaboration. While unity and collaboration meetings are being held with different stakeholders to arrive at a consensus on exactly how collaboration should work, I have personally reached out to leaders that matter to confer with them my modus operandi for collaboration. We are pursuing collaboration vigorously because it is the right thing to do. I am very optimistic that we will get there. Unity and collaboration are not luxuries. They are a necessity, especially considering the moment we are in this struggle. No matter how long it is going to take, we will keep on pursuing it till we get it. But let me state the point emphatically again. I embarked on this collaborative exercise, ladies and gentlemen, not out of weakness and desperation, not because this interim government can no longer deliver or function on its own, but simply because, again, collaboration is the right thing to happen. Besides leading the way to Boya, I can't say this enough. I was elected to solve problems, and I will do so with or without collaboration, is a promise. There is no other option. I seek unity and collaboration not only because it is the right thing, but equally, ladies and gentlemen, because, as they say, many hands make the work easier. That is the motivation behind my pursuit of collaboration. Again, no one should be mistaken. Without the many hands, I promise every skeptic out there that as the interim government with the overwhelming support from our people, we will do what we set to do at all costs, with or without the support we get from you in terms of collaboration. It's a promise, and as the means become available, you can trust me on this. I promise you that if La République du Cameroon won't choose a genuine mediation path or negotiation, we will take the war into their own backyard. I promise you, we must hit them so hard until they are pregnant and producing refugees and internally displaced. We must hit them so hard that their people too begin to feel the kind of pain our people have felt for the last 6 years, that they remain silent. Why their children, their soldiers were sent to kill our people, rape our women, raze down our towns, and decimate our structures. I told you that the language that La République du Cameroon understands is the language of violence. May I remind them that they have no monopoly over violence in a situation of war. Their current Canadian forum is a smokescreen until we have matched their barbarism with barbarism, their killings with killings, and violence with violence. Will they take anything dialogue seriously? But back to the subject of collaboration, ladies and gentlemen. Many people have asked me, how do you want this collaboration to look like? Who are you talking to? And who is going to be part of it? How are you going to handle the question of leadership? Today, I came to you to present a detailed blueprint or plan that I have forwarded to prospective members of what I have called Ambazonia Restoration Alliance. Again, Ambazonia Restoration Alliance, ARA. If others agree with me, so will it be called. Again, Ambazonia Restoration Alliance. I am hoping that ARA or ARA membership shall be open to all armed and unarmed independent movements and leaders that have a track record of standing for independence prior to the last 6 years and of course beyond. For unarmed groups that want to be members, they shall have a discoverable track record of advocacy for independence and or support for our refugees, prisoners, and the ARF, other fighting groups not identified as, or other fighting groups not identified as the ARS. Those with a claimed presence on the ground of a fighting force will have to prove to the satisfaction of others their engagement against La République du Cameroon in between 2017 to today. ARA, or Ambazonia Restoration Alliance, shall constitute a leadership council or an executive from the representation of participating groups. The executive shall have a chair, a secretary, and a finance secretary. And of course, other positions will be, as deemed necessary, shall be considered. The mandate of each chair and his executive shall be 6 months and non-renewable until leadership has rotated round. The chair shall function as the chief executive of ARA. He or she shall make no rules, but essentially execute directives as agreed and directed to him or her by ARA. This way, no one group is seen as domineering the pact. Organizations with a proven military presence on the ground shall have more representation in the pact as determined by members of the pact. And also as opposed to those that do not have that military presence on the ground. They shall have limited representation, but shall be represented, of course. ARA shall not seek to represent or act on behalf of any individual member group or organization. Member groups maintain their independence, their uniqueness. However, once decisions have been reached at ARA by consensus, member groups shall renege action on a particular assignment to the pact for monitoring, to the pact or the chairman for monitoring and execution. As for areas of collaboration, my proposal is that Ambazonia Restoration Alliance considers collaboration in joint fundraisers with defined goals. Collaboration by sharing intelligence or intelligence sharing. Collaborate when it comes to imposing national lockdowns and methods of enforcement. Pursue diplomacy, especially talking about matters relating to negotiations or mediation. And of course, supporting efforts towards helping our refugees, our detainees and prisoners of war in La République du Cameroon dungeons. The chair of the park, in collaboration with the park, shall be fully responsible in follow-up and implementation of decisions reached at the AROA. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I have envisaged for collaboration. I have forwarded this plan to legitimate stakeholders in this struggle. This may not be a perfect proposal yet, but we can start here and work on refining it to the effect that it becomes acceptable to all. My appeal to every group leader in this struggle is that we should put Ambazonia first. We must redefine the goal of our liberation struggle and free an independent Ambazonia. A free and independent Ambazonia. Once we have done so, we refocus our militancy and our surrogacy to Ambazonia first, and not to who leads us to freedom. Militating for this or that leader would no longer be significant. Let's lay down the things that beset and divide us. Let's lay down our petty interests and embrace this opportunity and take back our country. No matter how big, let me tell you, no matter how big, no matter how popular and well-financed any leader or group may be, let's have this at the back of our minds. No one group will be handed over power or leadership in Buea. It will never happen. It's not going to happen. Unless in your mind you are thinking that this war is tantamount to a coup d'etat where whoever wins takes over. But no, unfortunately, it is not. Not a coup d'etat, it's a struggle. The only form of leadership that takes us to Buea, I believe, shall be a transitional government. As important and popular as this interim government is, let me state it clear again, so that we have the right thinking and right attitude. We are not going to Buea to become the government there. No one group will either. If we have this at the back of our minds and are settled with it, ladies and gentlemen, while we prosecute the war, all the fights for power and positioning would dissipate and everyone would just have focus on freeing the country. We must employ this mindset and attitude so as to do the right thing for our people while we still have the opportunity to do so. Now, we have stated on numerous counts here at the interim government that there can only be one interim government at any given moment. The interim government backed by the People's Power in the Restoration Council. Other so-called IGs are fractions. Where do they belong in my plan for collaboration? You may be asking. In my plan, fractions have no place from any group, be it from the SCNC, from the APLM, from Morris, Scapo, among others. They should not be encouraged to belong. We should not facilitate under any circumstances, ladies and gentlemen, the laughing stock that is being attributed to us by the international community because of divisions. Unless we want to be intellectually dishonest, we cannot say we do not know the leading movements in this struggle. We know them. You know them. I'm talking about those groups that were either formed prior to 2016 or between 2016 and 2018. We should not, for example, entertain, say, 3 APLMs or 2 Morris or 4 Scapos, etc., sitting in the park. Fractions that want to become legitimately recognized factions or movements should have identities unique to themselves and not impersonate any other group. Such groups will have a legitimate right to exist, to function, and to belong even to the park, if they so desire. If we do this, we have by default checked or killed divisions in this struggle. That is the plan. I am hoping that this will make a lot of sense, and my other comrades and other camps will see the need for us to perfect it and to run with it. I'm hoping also that between now and June next year, we should have everything taken care of. I'm urging every Ambazonian out there listening to the sound of my voice who wants to see us win this war, irrespective of the faction you belong to step out and mount the necessary pressure on every group leader or movement leader to come to the table for us to agree to work together. And now to the Canadian meetings. Ladies and gentlemen, which are ongoing at the moment, the interim government has made it abundantly clear that it will not participate in the Canadian meetings. The main reason being that it falls far short of what the international community has recommended as a way forward. The international community has recommended an all-inclusive process, a process that digs into the root causes of the conflict, a process without preconditions. That's why every major country that we know endorsed the Swiss process. That process, as slow as it was a good example of what a genuine peace process should be. But scared, perhaps, of discussing the root causes, Cameroon staged a walkout and immediately coerced Canada to put up something that isn't by any standard close to an all-inclusive process. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, our decision to stay away wasn't taken hastily or with emotions. We embarked on a lot of consultations, both within and without the interim government, before taking the decision to stay away from Canada. Some people have argued that we should have gone there to at least listen and all make our own point heard. And if they do not agree, we walk out. That doesn't make any sense, does it? Not at all. Once you know the process is not fair and that it cannot produce anything near the desired results, you waste your time and make yourself an accomplice to the end result that maintains the status quo, ladies and gentlemen. And do not forget, even if you walk out, no matter the good intentions therein, you leave your footprints in there. And if you choose not to walk out and sit in there, in the case of a vote, the chances are you are likely to be outvoted because, ladies and gentlemen, there are many proxy groups sitting in there, not for Ambazonia, but for La République du Cameroun. If it gets to a vote, they will all outvote us, and yet we would have been seated there to validate the sham by mere presence. But this is another thing. We do not want to be facilitators to the narrative that La République du Cameroun will be putting out at the end of those meetings. The narrative will either be that they have finally engaged the separatists and talks are ongoing, which may then last for maybe another 6 years while they continue to kill our people, or that they have reached an understanding with the separatists, even if that understanding is the form of state as in one Cameroon. fellow Ambazonians. I think that God has endowed me with a rare spirit of discernment. I know good intentions when I see them. I know good spirits when I see them too. There are none in the meetings holding in Canada. The meetings have been ongoing now in many sessions. Yet, there hasn't been a single statement that has come out from there. Even more astonishing is the fact that participants, people said to be representing you, are made by the Canadians to take an oath to silence, not to divulge any information from the meetings. What kind of conference is that? Do you want us to go there and not be in the position to come back and brief you with what the meeting is offering or deliberating upon? Of course, I don't think so. The La République du Cameroon proxy organization called Coalition for Dialogue and Negotiations last weekend hosted a gathering of some ground zero commanders in the diaspora. That meeting took place at the DoubleTree Hotel in Toronto as part of the capitulation agenda of the Canadian meetings. Anyone who walked in uninvited was hushed out. Fighting groups were heavily represented at the meeting. Can you imagine that nothing substantive has been raised or discussed in Canada? And yet, they are already talking to some of our ground zero commanders how to lay back, how they begin to lay back. No wonder ground zero has been quiet. I have warned, and I will continue to warn, that this ground zero so-called command is a clandestine ploy to cajole and bundle our fighters on the ground to subsequently hand them over to La République du Cameroon or have them lay down their arms in the concocted ceasefire that may emerge from Canada. The CDN, to the best of my knowledge, hasn't any mandate from Ambazonians to negotiate on their behalf. If it is not working for Ambazonia, it works for the office of Dion Ngute, and their funding is coming from there too. But they want everybody to believe they are sourcing for grants from foreign countries. Nothing, and I mean nothing, can be further from the truth. We know who is funding the CDN. It's not some foreign organizations. Fellow Ambazonians, this notwithstanding, we didn't just stay away or protest Canada. We have put out our official position to Canada, the Cameroon government, and the international community as the interim government. Amongst other things, we have suggested that if the Canadian and Cameroon governments think that the Canadian or Quebec example is what is good for Cameroon and Southern Cameroons, then the way to go about it is first to give the Southern Cameroons the opportunity that Quebecians had twice in a referendum to decide what form of state they want. Let me quote from some of the paragraphs we have sent out to the Canadian government and the Cameroon government and, of course, the national community. We have asked that an exclusive and internationally supervised referendum for the people of the Southern Cameroons is a recommendation prior to the kind of forum that is holding in Canada. An internationally supervised referendum exclusively for the people of the Southern Cameroons, a referendum in which Cameroon has nothing, zero to do with, is the best solution that will most certainly and peacefully resolve this conflict with justice. In most previous cases where the people have expressed a strong desire to decide for themselves, a referendum, as in Quebec, has been the answer. Recent cases include the United Kingdom and the European Union, Scotland, Quebec, Bougainville, South Sudan, Algeria, Eritrea, East Timor, and you can go on and name the rest. The advantage of a referendum is that it gives a voice. It gives a voice to all shades of opinion within the Southern Cameroons, whether they be federalists, unionists, or independentists. It offers the most transparent method, ladies and gentlemen, for the people to express themselves. It resolves the thorny question of who should speak for the people. Yes, of the Southern Cameroons. It gives the Republic of Cameroon the golden opportunity to legitimize its rule, even if it is contested and baseless. It is a tried and tested process in the world. It puts an end to all the tricks and manipulation of international opinion. It will automatically bring about a ceasefire once both sides understand that the solution does not lie in the gun, but the voice of the people. The president of Cameroon, Paul Biya himself, proposed this solution in 1999 in Jeune Afrique article of March 1999. Should the people of the Southern Cameroons reject independence in an internationally supervised referendum, ladies and gentlemen, and choose federation, or the Canadian example, as they say, only at such a moment, again, only at such a moment would the ongoing Canadian meeting be deemed appropriate and qualify our participation or the participation of this interim government. Like Quebecians, ladies and gentlemen, like Quebecians, Cameroonians, Southern Cameroonians deserve the right to decide what they want and not be tabled what they need. This is the major problem with the ongoing Canadian Forum. The people of the Southern Cameroons, ladies and gentlemen, the people of the Southern Cameroons, therefore, appeal to the government of Canada to use its good offices, proven commitment and dedication to peace between the two Cameroons to kindly transmit to its international partners and the Republic of Cameroon the firm position of the people of the Southern Cameroons. And besides that, ladies and gentlemen, besides that, Abdul Karim and our prisoners, they have to be released if Cameroon means peace. Fellow Ambazonians, the stakes are high right now. The ARF are starving of supply across the national territory. I have promised to take this war into Cameroon's own territory while maintaining a strong resistance from within our own territory. There is no way I can achieve this with meager resources, owing to many family issues that came up right after my swearing in, some of which you know have not been able to make the round to do fundraisings that characterize every new administration. But beginning the first week of next month, I shall launch or be launching the first Meet the People's Tour, during which I hope to appeal to you for your support, for funds. In just 1 month, we have been able to do things that should serve as an indication to you that if you trust me, or should you trust me with your money, you will see the results. For the first time, of all the leaders we have had, I have put on courage to visit our refugees on ground one, to witness firsthand their conditions. We cannot undermine them. They are the face of this struggle. And I'm glad most of you appreciated the gesture, as risky as it was. In just 1 month, we have also hit 2 trackable targets inside La République du Cameroon's territory. Those 2 have merely been a warning to what lies ahead. And we are not afraid to claim it because this is war. We would not have to wait until they hit us before we hit them. Ladies and gentlemen, when they hit us in our territory, we find a way to hit them too inside their own territory. When they inflict damage in our territory, we must find a way to inflict even greater damage on them inside their own territory. Again, that is what war is about. You hit me, I hit you back, and harder. We have been able to do this, however, without going out to ask you for funds. We will begin to do more when you show up with your financial support to us. While we empower the battalion fighting inside La République du Cameroon, the fighters in our own territory must be seen to be upping their game by being more aggressive on the occupying army and their economic interests in our territory. Many of you have been disappointed in the past by the way funds raised in the past years for the struggle were mismanaged and embezzled. I wish I could sit here on television and tell you what I plan to do or what the strategy is. But I cannot. But all I can say now is that you trust me. You trust me. Give me the chance until you have reason to complain. I am different. My style is also different. We are not just hitting to run. We have a road map. Again, we have a road map. Apart from the Department of Social Services, I am the only other person who has managed funds in the course of this struggle from almost day one. And this time, accounting was demanded. I went in and I came out and scattered. I have been the whistleblower throughout this struggle each time mismanagement, embezzlement was spotted and auditing needed. I am now in charge, and you can trust my judgment and stringency in resource management here. We will be able to do more damage inside La République du Cameroon if your generous support pours in. Please, I'm looking up to you for your support so that the AROF can be empowered to do even more too. We want to see Manu, AROF, Momo, Lebialem, Mezam, Meme, Coupe Mwaneguba, Indian, Go Ketunja, Bui, Donga Mantung, Menchum, Fako, and Boyo up in arms against enemy targets, every enemy target. Listen to me, if we do not empower our fighters, the CDN will buy them and hand them over as a trophy to La République du Cameroon. We must not allow this to happen, ladies and gentlemen. We shall be launching our fundraiser in the days ahead in Zoom and on television. Right after that, I shall be making the rounds country to country, region to region, meeting all of you. I appeal to you to show up and be part of it. Times may be hard. But having gone this far, we cannot slip back and let Cameroon run with our victory. Now, this announcement. Fellow Ambazonians, I have listened to your concerns and appeals relating to the lapses in our broadcast here at ABS. My absence on air has triggered a big gap which many of you, especially on Ground Zero, have observed and have been so unsettled about. Beginning next month, beginning next month, I shall be doing an appearance on TV at least twice a month to bring you developments that relate to the struggle and the war in general. It shall be as informing and educating as it was with the then anchor man. This means I shall, beginning December, be coming to you in two capacities. As your leader, combining it with excellence in broadcast communication. I look forward to taking up that new role, and I hope this makes sense to all of you. Tomorrow is our APP General Assembly. Let's meet there. And ask your questions. I will take them there. Long live the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, and short live the war.